official in nature. All decisions of the board will be based on competent, substantial evidence, including testimony provided in this meeting. Any person who is not an applicant or agent that wishes to speak will need to fill out a speaker's card located on the side table by the door and turn them in to the clerk. Each member of the public will be given 3 minutes to speak on each item. Please refrain from speaking from the audience, and applause or cheering will not be allowed. Please silence your cell phones. Can we get a roll call, please?
John Moreland.
Here.
Owen Curley.
Here.
Jeff Trular. Jennifer Williams.
Here.
Matt Metz.
Here.
Laura Tierney.
Here.
Okay, next on our agenda is approval of minutes. If you have a chance to review the October 15th, 2024 minutes, is there a motion?
I move we approve those minutes.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, this has been passed. Do we have any correspondence other than what's been passed out to us? Okay, we have no old business, so we'll go right into the new business. Do you want to call first case, please?
Sure. I call case number BOA 24-100063. Applicant Advanced Awning and Design LLC, agent Jackie M. Smith, property address 800 Shetter Avenue. Motion to consider sections 34-344E3B for a corner side yard setback of 0 feet in lieu of 10 feet minimum for a proposed shade canopy attached to an existing institutional structure.
Okay, as a reminder, each member of the public will be given 3 minutes to speak once we open the public hearing. Does any board member have any ex parte communication?
I've had none.
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 Okay, and I've had none. Would the applicant please come forward to be sworn in and give their presentation?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, it is.
Please state your name and address.
Martin Prinzi, that's Prinzi. I'm an acting agent for Advanced Awning and Design, and my address is 2155 Corporate Square Boulevard, Suite 100, Jacksonville, Florida 32216.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
So what Advanced Awning is going to be, we're proposing is to erect a shade canopy on the side of the Mission House facility as part of a project to reduce blight, to make it aesthetically pleasing to people in the community, and provide a safe environment for anybody that would use that shade canopy. That's first and foremost. And an issue was arisen that we were going to be coming to the 10-foot setback on the property. We want to bring it to the existing fence line, which is actually 13 feet from the edge of the asphalt, 11 feet from the edge of the curb. So we were a little confusion on as to whether we were in that setback area or not. But if we are, we would like to request a variance to bring the canopy out to the existing fence line of the property. Again, we're trying to provide safety for anybody that uses that facility. We're erecting a new picket fence. It's going to be all powder coated in a color that would be pleasing to the community to reduce blight. Advanced Awning was also part of the remodel of the beach ball facility. We did a lot of the wooden aluminum look on the outside of it. So we want to make it kind of flow with that as well, just to make it have a really good curb appeal and a safety element for anybody that might use that facility.
Okay, does any board member have any questions?
So my biggest concern when reading through the materials is the visibility when people are driving, you know, and I saw that it said that the awning was going to be held up with poles. Is that correct? Because then I saw something about fencing that was separated.
Right,
the pickets were 4 inches apart or something.
Yeah, there's an existing fence that's there, a regular normal fence. We'd be replacing that with more of a picket style fence. Code only allows a maximum of 4-inch spacing between those pickets, so we're kind of have to adhere to that. That's why chain link fences have such small openings in them due to code reasons. Ours would be actually 3 3/4 inches with 1 inch. There would be 1 inch pickets with 3 3/4 inch spacing between each one of them. We will also be placing a decorative finial on top of the post to kind of make it, give it more of a, cosmetic look and feel to it.
So to your mind, there's not gonna be any issues with the visibility for drivers who are pulling up and,
No, ma'am, like I said, we're gonna be 13 feet from the actual asphalt roadway to the edge where the existing fence is. We're essentially just replacing that fence. Where the fence posts are now, it would be a lot wider. We would be substituting those with 4-inch square aluminum posts. They would be a height of roughly 9 foot 6 inches, and the canopy will sit on that.
Can we go to page 13 of the packet? Just so we can see. I think it's up, and at least what I have is 13. It's a colored photo aerial view that shows the building and had a blue pen drawing of what yeah, I don't see the same, or maybe it's just split, that's fine, yeah, no, it's fine. So here, it looks like it's basically to the sidewalk with the awning. Can you tell me a little bit more about the 13-foot that you're speaking to between the edge of the awning that's being built and
Actually, if you can go to the plot plan, if you go back a few, there was the photo you were talking about. Keep going. We'll get a little bit more. Well, you could actually use that one. Where that blue hash marks is, that's the existing patio that's out there right now covered with big brick pavers. 13 feet from that edge of that, the red dash line is an additional 13 feet to the roadway. There is a brick paver sidewalk that runs about a foot off the fence, the length, and then there's a bit of a grass easement between the sidewalk and the roadway. But that fence line is actually 13 feet from the edge of the asphalt to that, and the canopy's gonna, the blue hash lines, and we're gonna be, the red dash line is indicative, we're gonna be taking out all the existing chain link fence and replacing it with this new picket style fence, just to, like I said, to give it that cosmetic look and feel to it, appeal to the community.
Can we scroll back to the aerial view? Are you saying that the 13 feet is to Shetter Avenue? Because
Yeah,
I'm
so-
looking at 8th Street, and that's where I'm thinking that it would be essentially the setback that we're addressing here.
Yeah, like I said, you go the other way, there was an actual picture that had the aerial on it, I believe. Keep going.
I should make sure that it has context of the road view.
Okay, then maybe that's not it. Yeah, so go back to that one picture. So from there, you got Shetter Avenue, and then you've got, 8th Street, and you can see the blue line there on 8th Street. That blue line, and then just a little bit below that blue line, you can see the sidewalk, and then your grass east, a little bit of a grass walkway there.
That's what you're saying is 13 feet?
Yeah, so
in the road?
13
That
feet.
grass and sidewalk is 13 feet?
That's what I'm saying, if you go from the edge of the curb, let's not even talk asphalt, let's go from the edge of the curb to that fence is 11 feet. And then from that fence back to, depending on where you measure the building, it could be anywhere from 11 feet, as much as like 14 or 15 feet back behind the fence to different parts of the building. I think the shortest distance was like 11 feet, 11 and a half feet, something like that. So from the fence to the road, and we'll use the curve to add that to the roadway, it's 11 feet. And we're not gonna intrude beyond that. We're coming right to so replacing the existing fence with the new picket fence, and then the canopy's gonna be sitting on top of those. Now, outside of the canopy will be normal fence posts at 6 feet tall the rest of the way. So around the canopy will be 9 feet tall. The fence and underneath the canopy would still be 6 feet. But those posts would be about 9 feet, 2 inches, something like that.
Okay, any further questions? Okay, sir, can you step back?
Sure.
I will now open the public hearing. Do we have any speakers first? And no correspondence.
Excuse me, I neglected to fill mine up. I have it here.
Oh, do you mind taking it up to the
Certainly.
clerk?
Certainly. Chris, why don't you come on up here and sit here? Thank you very much. If I may,
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
My name is Alan Winter, I do.
And please state your address as well.
My professional address is 1015 Atlantic Boulevard, Suite 154, Atlantic Beach, Florida, 32233. Chris?
My name is Christopher Brown. My address is 820 Shutter Avenue, Jacksonville Beach, Florida.
Will you both be speaking?
I will probably be asking him questions to clarify. I was impacted by the board's questions to the proponent here. There does seem like there's some confusion. Mr. Brown tells me that based on what the conclusions will be, he has no objection. But if it's not clear what the project is going to be, he does, and I can explain that.
Okay, that's fine. I would ask that you both submit speaker's cards. I think you did already. So.
Chris, if you would go get one.
You don't have to do it now. Just do it right after you're done.
Okay, thanks. And Mr., for your benefit, Mr. Brown owns the property immediately to the west of Mission House.
Okay.
And he has been before the board before, and I've been before the board before on his behalf. And if I may?
Go ahead, sir.
And I appreciate the proponent's attempt to try to explain what they're going to do. Mr. Brown has taken some photographs, and I think the one I have in my hand is probably one of the better ones to demonstrate our concern. The Mission House, on the east side of the Mission House, there appears to be, and there is a sidewalk. And depending on whether the awning goes over that sidewalk or not will be depending on whether or not we have an objection. Clearly, if you have residents of the Mission House under the awning, on the sidewalk, and in that area impeding 8th Street, that would be a problem. If I was responsible for the city of Jacksonville Beach and was partially responsible or fully responsible for the injury to a Mission House employee or visitor, that would be a concern. Mr. Brown tells me the other day that a bus pulled up on 8th Street for services and was there for several hours. Well, if that reduces 8th Street to one lane, and there's an awning on the other side of the lane, that would be a problem. So I think what we have to have in our concern, basically, and Mr. Brown was candid when we were sitting back there, if the awning does not impede on the sidewalk and still allows for the ingress and egress that is normal and it has already been approved by the city of Jacksonville Beach and the state of Florida, then fine, we've got no objection. But I think that has to be clarified by the proponent in this case. We need to know how far out that end is going to be, and because that's how far out the visitors to the Mission House is going to be. I would like to submit this picture as evidence, because it's not obvious to us. It doesn't really paint the picture as to where that awning is going to be. I don't know if the proponent has a better architectural picture, drawing, design, whatever. If they do, I ask them to submit it so that if you're going to vote on an approval of that, that you know what you're voting approval on. If I may?
Yes, please.
Mr. Brown, his business, Ben's Trends, has been in that location for 20 years. He is the closest neighbor to the Mission House, and he has, over the years, watched the Mission House grow and grow. We appreciate the problem. It's not Mr. Brown's problem. And so when there is a history of expansion of the Mission House and the parts next to it, he obviously has some concerns. He has to have people, he has to have his driveway clear, he has to have security at his facility. He has other people's vehicles that stay at the location at night. Some inside, some vehicles inside when he can do that, some outside. And this does cause some concern. He's had some problems in the past or he wouldn't be here. Chris, do you want to add anything?
Let me restart my.
He's restarting.
You got 3 minutes.
Sorry. There we go.
You got 3 minutes.
Okay, go ahead.
As he said, there there's security issues, when you have an awning like that for homeless people, shade is what they're looking for. You're just gonna increase the homeless in that area. And regardless of what they tell you, they don't cut the homeless off after 90 days. They keep them there for years and years and years. It's the same people coming over and over and over. As security goes, how many people have been shot right there? Gunfire. Next door to me, not a good thing. You've given them variances before. You gave them a parking variance, which we opposed very stringently, and it was based on the premise that they wouldn't be expanding services, but they did expand services as soon as the building was built. The parking lot was then tagged with signs all around it saying parking is for staff only, which created a much bigger problem. So my issue is this awning only going to go to where the existing fence is? And if that's the case, then I don't care. But we heard the man say just a few minutes ago that it was 13 feet, and then we heard him say it was 11 feet, and I'm concerned whether or not the awning comes over and past that line where the fence is, as far as the eaves or something. I want some better clarification if I could get it. And as I said, if it doesn't go any further than the fence line, I don't care.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any more speaker cards? Okay, then we'll invite the applicant back up to address, if you care to address the comments and testimony.
Yes, anybody that would be using that facility would only be using it during the Mission House's hours of business. It does have a security gate with emergency egress from outside of that. But to maybe clear up the confusion, and I apologize if I did make that clear, we are only coming to the existing fence line, and I have a picture here, and I don't know if I could.
Yes, you could, or,
That picture depicts there's probably about a foot to 2 foot distance from the fence to the first grass before the sidewalk. Then you have this 4 or 5 foot sidewalk and then another piece of grass between it. The awning will not protrude past. So we're basically replacing the existing fence with a new decorative picket fence. And then the canopy is going to stop at that line. It will not overhang the sidewalk or impede even that grass area between the sidewalk and the fence. We're only coming out 17 feet from the building's furthest inset and like 12 feet from where the building juts out to that fence line, and that's it. We don't want to alter anything else outside of that fence to impede any foot traffic, vehicle traffic, pedestrian traffic, or anything.
any questions based on that?
Is that bottom picture there? You can see the grass between the sidewalk and that fence. We're stopping at that fence.
The fence that's here in this picture, that's the fence that you're replacing in the awning is going to come to that fence.
It's
correct?
going to stop right, so the posts that support the fence also support the edge of the canopy, and it does not protrude past that point.
So just so I'm clear then, you're not going to cover that little grassy area outside the
That is
fence?
correct, yes, sir.
You're not going to cover the sidewalk,
Yes, sir.
and you're not going to cover the median strip up to 8th Avenue?
No, sir, we're not. And like I said, maybe where the confusion came in, depending on where you measure the roadway, from the asphalt, it's 13 feet. If you go from the 2 foot gutter that's part of the roadway, it's 11 feet from that edge to the fence. So that 11 feet would stay untouched. It'd be wide open for the project.
Okay, any further questions? I'll let you look at the picture. Okay, if there's no further questions, you can go ahead and step back. right, sir, I will now close the public hearing and bring the item back to the board for discussion. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
I make,
I apologize, Mr. Chairman. I didn't, could I rebut that last area just briefly?
I'm sorry, sir, we just closed it. We allowed members of the public to testify, and then he provided some additional information, and we closed our public hearing.
Well, I want to address what the, because I think it's germane to the city of Jacksonville Beach.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll note, please note my objection.
I make a motion to approve BOA 24-100063 based on the standards for variances outlined in section 34-286 of Land Development Code.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
What if we were to limit it to where the fence is currently, so that when they do the build out, that's a part of it, that's a requirement?
That
It
can,
can extend beyond, the awning cannot extend beyond the current fence line.
I think that's probably a good idea. I think that will alleviate some concerns.
I think the staff's notes state that it doesn't go beyond what is already in place. I think it's already in the notes that that's stipulated. I don't have any concerns stipulating it 15 times, but I think that's already how we discussed that.
I thought it did too. I'm looking for it. But there are some concerns with the public rights, so I think that would be good if you want to amend the motion.
I make a motion to approve BOA,
That's what then.
to amend BOA 24-100063, to stipulate that the awning is, the extension of the awning is limited to the current fence line.
Second.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, so we're gonna vote first. Any discussion on the amendment? Okay, so we're gonna vote first on the amendment. Can we have a roll call vote on the amendment, please?
John Moreland,
Yes.
Jennifer Williams.
Yes.
Matt Metz,
Yes.
Laura Tierney,
Yes.
Owen Curley.
Yes. Okay, so now we're gonna vote on, if it will, is there any more discussion on the amended motion?
I think the amendment clarifies how far the awning's out, so I think it'd be good to have it, so.
Okay, can we have a roll call vote on the amended motion, please?
John Moreland,
Yes.
Jennifer Williams.
Yes.
Matt Metz,
Yes.
Laura Tierney,
Yes.
Owen Curley.
Yes. Okay, your request for variance has been approved with those conditions. We call the next case, please.
I call case number BOA 24-100064, applicant Robert Bruce, owner Ann Therese Kern, property address 3409 South First Street. Motion to consider sections 34-336E1E for 48.2% lot coverage in lieu of 35% maximum for proposed new single-family dwelling.
Okay, as a reminder, each member of the public will be given 3 minutes to speak when we open the public hearing. Does any board member have any ex parte communication?
I've had none.
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 And I've had none. Would the applicant please come forward to be sworn in and give their presentation?
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and address.
Robert Bruce, 3330 Ocean Drive South, Jacksonville Beach, Florida.
Okay, sir, go ahead.
This property at 3406 First Street has been there since the 50s. It's a pre-existing non-conforming lot, as most of them are in South Jacks Beach. The lot right now, and the house on the lot right now, has a little over 80% coverage. It doesn't comply with any of the setbacks whatsoever. I have a house designed that will comply with all of the setbacks that are in place these days, and I'm requesting the 48.2% coverage so I can put in a nice paver driveway, paver walkways, and a small sitting area in the back of this property.
Okay, are there any questions?
I have a question. So, and I don't recall what page this is, so maybe one of you can tell me. But we were provided with this great little chart showing what the current conditions are and what the proposed conditions are. And I noticed that under the proposed, it says 49.66%, not 48%.
I realize I had presented that summary earlier that had an additional a paper area near the pool, which was removed, and that's why it's at 48.2 rather than what's on that table.
Okay, so this is
Correct.
not accurate for that purpose. Okay. And you're going to have some area to walk around the pool? I mean, is that in the part of the
Yes,
plans?
that's, except for the sitting area, it's going to be turf back there.
Okay.
There's going to be a pool spa back in that area. It's a very nice backyard.
Any other questions? Okay, sir, you can step back. Do we have any speaker starts? Oh, sorry, I will now open the public hearing. Do we have any speaker starts? Okay, we have no correspondence. I will now close the public hearing and bring the item back to the board. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve BOA 24-100064 based on the standards for variances outlined in section 34-286 of the Land Development Code.
Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Any discussion?
It's clearly an undersized lot, it's about 30% under the standard lot for the area. The request is not an overreach, it brings the lot closer to conformity than it currently is, and even with the requested coverage relative to a total standard lot, it would only be 33.7%. So I think that it meets the need to provide a variance.
You stole my thunder.
There you go. Well, okay, if there's no more discussion then, can we have a vote, please?
Jennifer Williams,
Yes.
John Moreland,
Yes.
Matt Metz,
Yes.
Laura Tierney,
Yes.
Owen Crowley.
Yes. Okay, your request for a variance has been approved.
Thank you.
Can we call the next case, please?
I call case number BOA 24-100065, applicant Kevin and Mercedes Kelch. Oh,
612 South.
oh, there it is, 612 South 15th Avenue. Motion to consider section 34-337E1E for 47.5% lot coverage in lieu of 35% maximum for a proposed new addition to the front of an existing single-family dwelling.
Okay, as a reminder, each member of the public will be given 3 minutes to speak when we open the public hearing. Does any board member have any ex parte communication?
I've had none.
None?
I've had none.
I've had none.
And I've had none. Would the applicants please come forward to be sworn in and give their presentation?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please each state your name and address.
Mercedes Kelch, 612 15th Avenue South.
Kevin Andrew Kelch, 612 15th Avenue South.
Go ahead.
I'm super nervous, sorry.
That's okay. Good job.
So we are looking to do an addition to the front of our house that would extend it out roughly, I want to say 10 feet or so. It's well within the setback, but it's no more than an addition of about 320 feet, of which about 155 of it's going to be actually air-conditioned space. We're looking to extend our kitchen and increase the size of our garage. We've been in the house now for 10 years, and the garage is actually not really able to, it's got our laundry room in it too, so it doesn't really provide a lot of space to actually put a car in it. And then with the potential of my mom moving in, we wanted to create a little more space in the common areas to be able to have, us all be comfortable in the same house with that potential. We've got, like I said, we're not looking to get a variance that goes to change where the setback is. We actually did talk to our neighbors to make sure they were okay with, what we're doing. We're really trying to stay within the character of the existing house. We're not, putting anything any bigger than what we're asking for. Just want to create a little more living space as well as more garage space. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, it is a non-conforming lot in the neighborhood,
Yeah.
and there are other houses in the neighborhood that are actually closer to the setback than ours is, so it's not like we're going to be encroaching
Yeah.
and being an eyesore. The front of the house itself is actually going, as far as what you see from the curb, will change very little from
Existing.
what's there now. We want to stay within the same roof line, same roof profile. Just want to move things out a little bit so we can get a little more space.
When you say that you talk to neighbors, is that one neighbor, two neighbors?
No, we got letters from 3 of them, yeah. I would have gotten more, but unfortunately the other people were out of town.
Any other questions? Okay, can you folks just step back, please? Sure. I will now open the public hearing. Do we have any speakers' turns? Yes, no. No correspondence. I will now close the public hearing and bring the item back to the board for discussion. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve BOA 24-100065 based on the standards for variances outlined in section 34-286 of the Land Development Code.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I think it's clear it's an undersized lot. The ask is not an overreach. If it was a standard size lot, this would be a relative coverage of 39.6. As the applicant indicated, maintaining a very similar profile of the home, very minimal adjustment. So considering the size of the lot being substandard. And also support the neighbors. If you look in the attached documents, there's multiple letters from neighbors substantiating a familiarity with the plan proposed and comfort with that occurring. So knowing that it's not going to have a negative impact on their surrounding neighbors is also worth noting here.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Jennifer Williams,
Yes.
John Moreland,
Yes.
Matt Metz,
Yes.
Laura Tierney,
Yes.
Owen Carly.
Yes. Your request for variance has been approved.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, please.
Have a nice evening.
Case number BOA 24-100066, applicant Jason and Stephanie Huntley, property address 3940 Poinciana Boulevard. Motion to consider sections 34-336E1E for 48.82% lot coverage in lieu of 35% maximum. 34-336E1C2 for a southern side yard setback of 9.1 feet and a northern side yard setback of 9.8 feet in lieu of 10 feet minimum to address existing nonconformities for the construction of a new pool and paver patio to an existing single-family dwelling.
Okay, as a reminder, each member of the public will be given 3 minutes to speak when we open the public hearing. Does any board member have any ex parte communication?
I've had none.
None?
None.
I've had none.
And I've had none. Would the applicant please come forward to be sworn in and give their presentation?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and address.
Jason Huntley, 3940 Poinciana Boulevard.
You can lift that up if you'd like.
There you go.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so just from the application, you obviously have a non-conforming lot and just trying to build a modest pool in our backyard. And I think we're adhering to all the setbacks in terms of the location of the pavers and everything, just trying to get a modest pool in our backyard. I think it's only 16 by 18 feet. 2 sides of it are coping only. We're gonna do some turf in those areas, you know, to kind of complement it and not do too much hardscape. And but that's about it. So.
Have you discussed this with your neighbors?
Yeah, so I think actually my neighbor to the right used to be on the board, Chase. His last name escapes me right now, but yeah. So almost everyone I touch has a pool. You know what I mean, and they all seem to be fine with it. So.
Okay, any other questions for that?
Just want to confirm the existing side yard setbacks that are being requested to be approved here as a variance are from the fence or from, excuse me, not the fence, the property line to the edge of the residential structure. So the 9.1 is actually to the edge of the home. There's not other structures outside of the home that are resulting in that side yard setback requirement, is that correct?
No, and I even when I submitted the variance, that's not me. I bought the house, existing home, and that's was built, and I think we're just trying to maybe bring it to, get it on record, I guess. I mean, so, but yeah, that's just from the house to the property line, so, or the existing house, yes.
Thank you.
If there's no further questions, sir, you can step back. I will now open the public hearing. Do we have any speakers cards? Is there anyone in the audience who's not filled out a speaker's card that wishes to speak? It never gets old. If not, I will now close the public hearing and bring the item back to the board for discussion. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve BOA 24-100066. Based on the evidence provided, this application meets all the standards outlined in section 34-286 in the Land Development Code.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I think it's clearly an undersized lot, nearly 35% lower than what would be a standard lot in this location. It's addressing the side yard setbacks that exist in the home as it's a structure, so no issue with the applicant creating that constraint. Good to have that landed in the code in a way that we can have evidence of. And the request for coverage does not appear to be an overreach. If it was a standard lot, coverage would only be 31.6%. So I think clearly the substandard lot put the applicant in this position.
Okay, any other comments? Discussion? Okay, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Jennifer Williams,
Yes.
John Moreland,
Yes.
Matt Metz,
Yes.
Laura Tierney,
Yes.
Owen Crowley.
Yes. Okay, your request for variance has been approved.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Next is our planning department report.
The next meeting is November 19th, and we'll have 6 cases.
6. Wow.
I will not be here for that meeting.
6 cases, I don't know.
Oh, that's my
Now, that can be easy. 2 of them is like new builds anyways.
Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty easy.
Courtesy of the floor to visitors. Anyone? We didn't even have police officers tonight. Well, okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.